Hey, good afternoon, Heroic Fatherhood. This is Charlie King, and I'm super excited. We're bringing you another in the ongoing series that's called Dad's Making a Difference. This is a series I took on to really shine the light on the stories that guys have about being a dad, the ones that they're not only experiencing, but they're sharing with the world. The idea that dads are out not only being fathers and really bringing intentionality about their parenting style, but actually sharing it with other people's is brand new to the world, especially when we have just in an era of so many mom blogs out there. And the series has been fantastic, and I'm super excited because camera left is my friend Casey Procter of Fit Dad Life, who's come to join us for this afternoon's interview. Good afternoon, Casey.
Hey, Charlie, how's it going?
It's going great. Hey, so tell me, sir, what fine city do you live in that you're joining us from?
I live in the sunny city of Seattle, with a hint of sarcasm.
With a hint of sarcasm, where we are indoors with big shiny lights on us to remind us that light is a good thing. So Casey and I are in the same state, so we can say things like "Go Hawks" and "Go Sounders" and and go go Washington. Let's
right.
Pray for sun.
Yes, pray for sun.
But how I got exposed to Casey is because he's out there supporting dads with his work with Fit Dad Life, and where he teaches personal training and some seriously awesome empowerment stuff. And as a dad blogger, I'm super excited to have him here. So tell us how long. Well, first of all, back up. We're going to back this up. Tell me about your family. That's where we like to start. Tell me about your family configuration.
You bet. My wife and I have been married for almost 12 years. We have 4 children, ages from 1.5 to 16 years old. And so then they're pretty evenly spaced in between. And so we have a great time keeping up after them. So
I see you've invested in the long haul theory of parenting.
Yes. Starting last year, we will have a kid in high school for the next 18 years because of how the children are spaced out. And I feel like I should get like a plaque or an honorary diploma or something from their high school, because a teacher could begin their teaching career when my son started high school last year and finish and retire and have a Procter kid every single year.
Wow, that is extraordinary. I think there's going to be a plaque for the Procter family at your local high school.
I think so, or some type of pass to sporting events or something.
Right. Well, here's the thing, so that's epic, right? So you not only have the teenager stuff going on, but you have the tween stuff, you have the middle schooler stuff, and you've got the toddler stuff going on as well.
Yeah,
that is epic. That is epic.
Yeah, I feel like every day is an exercise in having like a schizophrenic personality disorder, because one moment I'll go from talking with my son about his algebra homework or driver's ed or his wrestling meet to changing a poopy diaper and arguing with the 5-year-old whether or not she actually brushed her teeth.
Yes. Well, I don't know about your 5-year-old, but that whole "did you brush your teeth" seems to go on to teenager years sometimes too.
It does. And I don't understand it, because you would think like after, at the age where, and it's different for every kid, when they have reached the maturity to where they actually notice the opposite sex, you would think that their interest in personal hygiene would increase in parallel with those. But he doesn't smell any better. And his teeth aren't any cleaner. So, that might just bode well in my favor for now.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, busy guy, right? Like, I see how big your coffee mug is, sir. Because Casey and I share a real passion for coffee. So, busy guy, right? You work full time. You work full time in the digital online world. You worked at Starbucks at a corporate level in like a big position. You have a big job in what you do, but you've made this transition to work from home. What helped you? What had you made that decision?
So it was made for me. For the longest time, I want to say at least 5 years, I have done work on the side, had a side hustle of some sort, whether that was, doing social media for a client or helping them manage content. I had some type of side gig going on. And then the end of September 2016, I got laid off after 8 years with a very large coffee company that we all know and love. And I had their coffee earlier today. I just got laid off. It was the end of a budget year, kind of a collection of unfortunate events. And, I found myself in a situation where I had a lot of extra time and and a lot of mouths to feed. And so I, reached out to clients in the network that I had built up over that time. And I said, hey, I got extra time. And a few of them were like, we will take it. So within the span of about 2 weeks, I replaced my day job income with client work. And so I've done that since October 1 of 2016. So it's been over a year now.
Wow. So you're a side hustle, but I also hear you're a side hustle guy. And is Fit Dad Life part of that realm of things?
It is. So I've blogged online for a while. I've had a number of different domains, as many people who have forayed into the blogosphere have done. They'll think of an idea and they'll go buy the domain, and then they'll write a couple ideas and then not publish anything for 6 months. And so I played around in kind of the leadership and kind of thought personal development space for a little bit, and then dabbled a bunch in family stuff. So writing about marriage and kids, and then pivoted pretty heavily towards, just parenting and dad blogging. And I had a podcast for a while called Dad Life Rules, and a blog by the same name. And it just kind of dried up for me. Just kind of hit a roadblock and was just kind of getting frustrated with it. And so part of it was like, I didn't feel like I was a good enough dad to be giving people advice. I'm like, I'm really not so great at this. There's a saying that's like, teach what you know. And one of the things I do know is physical fitness. Even when I was, working full time at a corporate job and on the side and raising a family, I still made time for physical fitness as a way to keep myself sane and in good shape. Because when you have 4 children, from 1.5 to 16 years old, you have to be in shape just to keep up with them. And especially with our oldest, our teenager, he's taken a weight training class and has always been athletic and stuff. So like, there's no way I'm going to let some quote unquote punk teenager with me at the gym. So you better believe I'm showing up. So I've pivoted to fitness content, but that's focused on dads. So like the mission of Fit Dad Life is pretty simple. It's to help busy dads get fit. And like, we're all busy dads, whether we work from home, whether we're stay-at-home parents, whether we have traditional corporate day jobs or we're in a cubicle. Like, fitness is a challenge. Exercising, eating right, but then also like wanting to explore the other categories of what does fitness mean to what does fitness really mean? Because it's not a finish line, it's a process, it's a lifestyle. And it's not just, working out and going to the gym or working out at home, but it's also eating right. It's also like mental fitness, emotional fitness, relational fitness. And so I'm starting from that aspect and from that point of physical fitness in terms of exercise and developing good habits, and then expanding as we go to nutrition and mental health and things like that. So,
well, very cool. So I'm this makes me super curious. I'm really curious, why physical fitness first? Why not nutrition first? Why not mental? Why start with physical fitness?
Sure. I think it's because I'm action oriented, and it's the quickest and easiest thing for people to change. And then in creating those small wins of, even if it's something as small as going for a 15-minute walk every day, or 20 or 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, like having something and creating those little wins, you then build momentum for the more difficult changes. So like nutrition, like physical fitness is very easy for me to create a habit around, even though I'm busy. And at one time, for a period of about 5 years, I would wake up at 3 a.m., go to the gym, get on the bus to work, take a short cat nap, work a full day at the office, right, get back on the bus ride home, take a short nap or read or mess around on my phone or whatever. And then I would get home and it's dinner, bedtime, see the wife, work on side hustle stuff, go to bed around 10 or 11 and get up at 3 the next morning and do it all again. And I did that for like 5 years. I got an MBA in the process from Arizona State University. Go Sun Devils. But like, so I get what it's like to be busy. Like I really do. And that physical part was the easiest for me. And that's hard for people. But again, creating that momentum, it then helps with those bigger shifts. So like the nutrition part and the meal part and changing your diet, not going on a diet, but actually changing your diet is probably my biggest challenge. And so, that is something that I want to test and master and kind of share that journey as I go. I just started, I did some reading up on intermittent fasting, which you need to be careful about and like read the science and see if it's an actual good thing for you, because like depending on your age, gender, body type, and genetics, intermittent fasting might be a terrible idea for you. It is not a, blanket solution for losing weight.
It is not a benign choice.
No, it's not a benign choice at all. And so, I had tried it before and, did it for a little while and just found myself like super, super grumpy and grouchy. And so I'm taking a little bit, that was like 6 months ago. And so I'm trying it again and just taking a little bit of a different approach because, when you establish healthy habits, they lead into other ones, because it's that law of inertia, or law of motion, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And so as you build the momentum behind positive change in your life, the positive changes you make lead to more positive changes. And so I've established, a routine of working out 4 or 5 times a week, even if it's only for 20 or 30 minutes, whether it's at home or at the gym, having some type of physical activity every day. So I've established that habit. That is a no-brainer. That is already decided. It doesn't take any willpower for me to do. And so then like the next step is to create some parameters and guidelines around my diet. And so like the first step for me in that is establishing like some time frames. So like I don't eat after 8 o'clock at night because that's when I start my intermittent fast.
Oh,
and then I don't.
Hard part for me, man, that post 8 o'clock when you're tired and you're like,
right. Well, and it's like, and your brain and chemicals are playing tricks on you because like you're not actually hungry. And there's like brain chemistry science around why you crave sweets and carbs late at night. And so like, you're not actually hungry, like drink a glass of water and go to bed. Like,
you're really just tired. Maybe you're just tired.
Yeah, you're just tired. Like, go to sleep. Like, do you really need to binge watch Game of Thrones or, House of Cards or whatever your show is? And I have done that. I'm not someone who is immune to binge watching Netflix. Peaky Blinders. Let's just sidebar that. And like, definitely in that House of Cards, Game of Thrones category. But like, so I recognize that, I don't like eating late at night is hard for me. So it's like, all right, I stop at 8 o'clock. And so like, I've got a little timer thing. There's this app. It's just called Zero. And it's a really simple, straightforward app for tracking intermittent fasting. And it's like, hey, start your fast. And then when you hit your either 12, they have like a 12 or 16 hour, there's different methods of intermittent fasting. But when you hit your limit and you're done, it's like, hey, you're done. You can eat now. And you better believe I'm like watching the clock. Like I got 10 minutes.
It's one of these.
I can do it. But like, it's creating those healthy boundaries. And so for me, the thing that I like about intermittent fasting, from trying it before and then trying it again, is that it makes the mornings really simple, because like all I drink is water in the morning. So like I'm not like, oh, what do I have for breakfast? And like I'm not wasting decision energy, like my tank of decision making, mojo on what to eat for breakfast or what not to eat for breakfast, because there's, I live in a house with 5 other people. There's donuts and bagels and, apple juice, and, there's all types of stuff that isn't necessarily, healthy for me or what I should be eating.
Right.
And so as much as I'm extending, expending decision mojo on what to eat, I'm probably expending even more on what not to eat. And so if the rule is just you don't eat until noon, then it eliminates all of that decision. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm drinking water. And it's handy that my restroom is 6 feet outside this door. But I like it because it's kind of minimalist, and it just eliminates that stuff. So yeah. Long story short, that's kind of where I started with the physical exercise start, and then we'll iterate into nutrition and meals and stuff.
Well, I love it. The thread that seems like it pervades through all of your story is this evolution piece, right? Where I hear you talking about starting out blogging, and it's easy to jump in when you play in the blogosphere. Is like, I'm like a lot of bloggers. We start over here, and then we go over here, and then we go over here. We're never quite, like, where's the thing that's going to get the traction, or where's the thing that's going to keep my interest up? And I really think it's more like evolving in real time. This is something that I love to talk about. It's like we get to evolve in real time. And sometimes we beat ourselves up about choices that we made, when maybe what's true is that the choices that we made were great. It's just we couldn't get to that's the wrong choice until we've made it. Like, oh, that was the wrong choice. Yank that blog. Got to find a new one. Got to find what the next thing is. And it dovetails beautifully with what you were saying about how healthy choices and healthy habits build on each other. I found the same thing. I like my eating program, not a diet, but like the choices of the way that I eat my exercise were, I struggled with that for a long time. And then once I got that nailed down, I realized that I had the exercise down and I had the eating down, and I was very proud of myself, but it was still flying flat. I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I realized I wasn't getting enough sleep. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, now I got to turn the light over here on sleep. And we got to figure out how much sleep do I need? When do I need to be going to bed? The whole thing. So they, by necessity, they show up. The next one shows up for you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and that, getting up at 3:00 in the morning to go to the gym, was a long season, but it was a season, and it was, it happened by necessity, because I couldn't working out in the middle of the day. There was a gym at the corporate office, but it wasn't sufficient for what I wanted to do. And I didn't have a long enough lunch break to really, make it worth it. Also, just really don't like seeing coworkers naked. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know. I go to the gym, I've been to the gym for years, and it's fine, whatever. It's hey, it's life, it's the human body, whatever. We're all mature adults. But at work, it's just different, at least to me.
You're like, Bob, I've got to be in a meeting. I'm not sure.
Anyway, give me a high five, emoji on this if you resonate with that.
Yeah.
When you're watching.
Hashtag don't want to see coworkers naked.
Yeah, overheard at the office, naked at the office. It's just not a good. No thanks. No thanks. So it was a necessity, and I couldn't work out, or I chose not to work out at night, because that's the time that I had with family. I was home for dinner the majority of the time, and I'm not gonna come home and be like, hey, Dad's been gone all day. I missed your sports practice. I'm going to the gym now. See you later. Because that just makes me an absentee dad, to be honest, and that's, that was something that was valuable to me. And so now, working from home, I get up at 6:30, And part of that is because part of the reason why I don't get up earlier is because if I try, then the baby wakes up anyway and throws it all off. And so it's just easier. Like it is simpler to keep it at 6:30 because then the baby wakes up, I wake up the teenager, I go drop them both off at school, I grab coffee, I'm back home at 7:30. And that's when my actual morning routine begins. Where, if I'm not on an intermittent fast, I would have breakfast and coffee. I would read a bit of a book, maybe some meditation. There's a great free app made by the same people who do Zero called Oak, OAK. And it's just a simple guided meditation app that I recommend you check that out. And then I would, open up my computer and email on my phone or whatever and start getting to work. And so, like, you have to, like, as a parent, period, and especially as a dad, I feel like you have to make sacrificial decisions, but at the same time, you have to decide where the line is. Like, if it comes to a point, like, I will miss the gym or I will miss working out as an exception to the rule, but when sacrificing that becomes the rule or the norm instead of the exception, then something has to change. Like, yes, like my son, there's no reason why my son's wrestling practice is more important than my physical fitness. Mm-hmm. If the two are in conflict for the same period of time, I'm going to pick, like, if that becomes a norm, if that becomes a situation where those two come to a head, I'm going to pick my personal fitness because that spills over into other areas of me being a great dad and living longer and healthier and stronger for him and his three sisters.
Right.
And that doesn't mean he can't go. That just means, like, I'm not giving him a ride.
Right.
And he's going to have to figure that out. And so right now the way it works is, I typically work out in the middle of the day. I take a lunch break and go to the gym, or I work out here at home. About 6 months ago, I discovered the joy of jump ropes. I was
jump rope guy now.
Oh, I am here. I'm going to duck off and grab a set real quick.
Okay. And I've lost my light. I had a light here that was working.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not going to actually jump on camera because my office is too small. But I use these weighted ropes. So this is a 1 pound jump rope. And it says Infinity here, but the company is Crossrope. So if you go to crossrope.com/Casey, you get a spiffy little discount there.
Oh, wait, you got to say that again, bud.
Crossrope.com/KC. And they've got these sets. And what's great about the weighted ropes is it actually helps you build muscle and burn fat faster. And so I've got 4 different ropes at 4 different weights, super light to real heavy. And there's this free app. The Crossrope has a free app where you pick what ropes you have, you pick how much time you have. Like, I've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and it just automatically starts a timer and walks you through, and like with rest periods and everything. And it's great because it's basically a HIIT workout, high intensity interval training. Yep. And so for me, it has completely replaced cardio. I don't run, I don't do elliptical, I don't do row machines, I don't walk. I walk around. I get my Fitbit 10,000 steps. But my cardio and even some strength training has been replaced with the jump rope, and it's fantastic. And after 12 minutes, like, I'm sweating. Like, I sweat doing this more than I sweat doing strength training, where I can bench 5 sets of 5 at 225 on a chest day. And so, like, my max is like 285. And, like, I'm not a huge dude, but, like, I've built up, incrementally and really slowly. And that's the other thing to, like, for dads and stuff, parents in general, is like, we have a competitive nature, and, like, we want to beat ourselves and we want to beat other people. And it's like, if you try to go too big, too fast, you will hurt yourself. And then you're worse off than when you started. And so I like to say, live to lift another day. And, like, it is better to lower the weight and be able to lift again tomorrow or the day after than it is to go too big and injure yourself, because then you've got to take a week or 2 weeks off, and then you're even further behind. And
being willing to show up, right? Like, I was at the gym the other day, and I completely had to back off like 10 pounds on almost every set I was doing. I just didn't. Jason, you just don't have it. And and that's just the way it was. But like for me, what was more important was the fact that I got through it anyways, because there's a whole lot of me that's like, why even show up? I don't even why even show up today? But you know, you have to I'm convinced that going that day will give me the juice I need to bump through some layer that I can't even see.
Absolutely. Well, because something is better than nothing. Like going to the gym, even if you had gone and done 50% of your weight capacity, or even 50% of your workout. Like if your workout's usually an hour and you only have 30 minutes, well, do 30 minutes, you know, and it stinks and like it's not what you really wanted to do, but it's better than nothing. And it's about keeping that, try not to break the chain. John Acuff in his book Finish, he talks about how the most challenging day for any goal or a habit is the day after perfect. So like, let's say you started this new year off and it is now the 18th and you made it 17 days on your habit and today you screwed up. So like whether that's, I'm going to stop drinking soda, or, I'm going to do something active every day, or I'm going to floss every day, or whatever that is. Like if you missed it today, tomorrow is the hardest day because today is that really hard because it's that day after perfect. Yeah. And the thing is you have to start that chain again, because it's that law of inertia, law of motion in action. Because it's like if an object at rest, it's a stay at rest. So if you break that chain and you're at rest, it is easy to skip the next day and the next day and the next day, and it gets harder and harder to get back on the wagon. So like if you fall off, be like, oh, that sucks, and vent or whatever you got to do, but get back on the next day as soon as possible, because then you begin building that momentum again. Because what that does is it builds up all those, like if you picture like a huge jar or a big gallon drum, every time you show up, it's a pebble. And no matter if you miss, no matter if you break the chain, multiple times, at the end of the month, end of the year, there are going to be more pebbles in there than if you just quit.
Yes, absolutely. And habits are the thing. And sometimes you need to change them up. You get inertia when, you've been doing something too long. Sometimes you're starting out something new and you just get tripped up over and over again. And it's like being willing to be agile, right? And learn from I tripped there and then I tripped there, and I keep going at it the same way and it keeps giving me the same result. Maybe I should be doing, how else could I ask the question, how else could I do this? What's another way I could get this result without doing it the way that I normally do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and one of the complaints that people make about exercise and working out and fitness in general is, either they don't know what to do, which is fine, but hello, Google, YouTube, there you go. Or fitdadlife.com. I've got a 5-day body weight challenge that you can take, and it gives you the tools to then also create your own routines based on some certain variables.
Wait, what was that again? Can you slow down and say that again?
So if you go to fitdadlife.com, you can download, or if you go to fitdadlife.com/king, you'll actually see my interview with Charlie here about breakfast, and there's some resources there that you'll want to check out. And there's also a 5-day body weight challenge where you download it. It gives you 5 days of a body weight routine, and then also introduces exercise variables that you can do yourself to change up your workouts. So people either don't know what to do or they get bored, and that's totally understandable. But the ways to do that are you can change the order of your workouts. So if you usually start by doing squats at the beginning, do squats at the end. If you start with cardio, put it at the end or put it in the middle. Change the length of time you do each of the exercises. Change how many reps you do, or increase your weight and lower the sets you do. The other thing is there's so many options of stuff to listen to. You can listen to music, you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to books, you can listen to interviews. There's no end of options, to change things up so that you are, mentally checked out, to a point so that you just kind of your body can go through those motions on automatic pilot. So like when you create a routine, a program for yourself, or you find a program that works for you, the less you're able to think about it, like the more your body can engage in the activity. So like when I go to the gym and I do, back and my chest and back workouts, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do because it's already decided. I already put it in a workout app on my phone and I just click what I'm going to do. And it's like, all right, you're doing this set with this many reps at this much weight. I'm like, okay. And I just sit down and go to work. That's why team sports are so successful, is because someone else is telling you what to do. Like, can you imagine how successful I hate them, but the Patriots would be if they didn't have any coaches?
It's funny, like the number of, if you look at basketball players individually have like 5 coaches that work on things like free throws and rebounds and 3-point shots and cardio and strength training. They have coaches for everything to help them exceed where they're at. And like everybody who's listening to this right now, don't worry. This interview is not going anywhere. This has just been like the most condensed amount of awesome content from Casey, and you're going to be able to go back and go through it. And if you want to find out more, you can always go to facebook.com/FitDadLife, where you can find Casey. And of course, FitDadLife.com. And you talked, this is my favorite part. You talked about morning routines. We've talked about morning routines more than a few times. Tell me, which nugget, which piece of your morning routine is your favorite?
My favorite part of my morning routine is probably not looking at email. Because as soon as you do that, like before I would do it, like I would open up my phone and I wouldn't respond to anything. I would just use the mobile app as a way to organize stuff. Right. And I still do that, but it would be like the first thing I did when I got up. And so immediately when you do that, your day is hijacked by the urgency of everyone else. Yeah. And so, like, from a mindset perspective, I was starting off on the wrong foot as soon as I got out of bed, because I was like, oh, hey, I got all these notifications. Here's this email, that email. Oh, I have to make sure I do that today. And so, like, my brain already went to work, and I haven't even kissed my wife or hugged my kids yet, or had coffee, God forbid. And so I think, like, my favorite part of my morning routine right now is not checking email on my phone. And so like I don't even look at it until I log on at 8:00. And like and it's fantastic.
I have a friend who got Alexa, and one of the things she loves about Alexa is I can get the weather without having to look at my phone. She can ask Alexa what the weather is without having to look at her phone. And she goes, before I'd have to look at my phone even when I have an automatic thing, and I get hijacked by whatever was on my apps. So look, so much more. We could talk about fitness and nutrition and mindset, and I hope we do it more, and hope we do it again sometime soon. But remember, go to Fit Dad Life, follow Casey Procter at Fit Dad Life on Facebook. Get your weighted crossrope with a 10% discount. Is that what you said?
I think so. I think that's what it is.
Crossrope.com/KC. And this has been another in the series of Dad's Making a Difference with Casey Procter of Fit Dad Life. And I just want to thank you guys for being here. Stay tuned. There are more interviews coming. Once again, Dad Bloggers rock. The story and like the raising up of men into the fathers that they want to be and the fathers their kids deserve. It's another great day to be a dad. Casey Procter, thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you, Charlie. See you guys next time.
Have a good one, everybody. Have a good one.